Hi everyone, welcome to RJ Santa for Living with Purpose. And today I want to talk about what Special Olympics means. Not only to me, but to those of us who participate. Special Olympics is not just the name of an organization. It's not just being able to compete in sports. It goes beyond that. It goes way beyond just competition. Friendship, camaraderie, and for some of us, being willing and able to go outside of yourself, to get outside of your comfort zone. It's about learning that it's not about you. It's about people. People aren't statistics. People shine. And that's what matters. I remember one time we were at a competition, and it was a bowling competition. In the lane I was on, there were 5 of us, and it was assisted ramp bowling, and one of the competitors started to cry. And it was a soft cry. It wasn't a loud cry or anything, but I could tell this person was upset. So I asked my volunteer to take me over there, and I sat with him, and I said, "Well, why are you crying?" He said, "I lost, and I felt like I didn't do a good job." I said, "You did." I said, "We all did a good job." And he said, "But you got first place." I said, "I know." I said, "If you stick with it, maybe next year you'll get first place." And the next year I went back, and he was there, and he come up to me and he said, "I got first place." And he said, "Thank you for being willing to talk to me and being willing to listen." That's what Special Olympics is about. You know, when people take the time to listen to one another, actually listen and not just speak, it makes a difference in someone else's life. And yet, I've seen the other side where sometimes when an athlete loses, they'll throw a temper tantrum. You know, and it's something that you deal with at competitions a lot. But to me, it's more the friendships you make. You know, competition is a big part of it, but just the friendships that you make and the people you meet and the relationships you form with people. Being able to speak to someone and say, yeah, I'll see you Thursday, or yeah, I'll see you Saturday. At competition, or I'll see you at the opening ceremonies. Then having the president of Special Olympics Florida talk to you, the vice president, the treasurer, you know, being greeted, people saying, "Hey, how you doing? What's up?" Just having, not just talks with other athletes, but talks with the Special Olympics employees. And being able to go to different events and represent Special Olympics and represent yourself and represent your community. That's something else that I'm thankful for. Sure beats YouTube drama and arguing with somebody that you're barely even going to meet over a screen. Over nonsense that's really not going to matter in the long run. But yet going to Special Olympics events, actually getting out and talking to people, listening to people, getting to know people for who they are and not some persona online, speaks way more volumes than arguing with somebody online and calling them names and saying that you're going to expose them for this, that, and the other thing. That's just cheap. But the fact that I can look back on my time in Special Olympics and tell you these stories and tell you the lessons I've learned from them, that says way more. And I'm happy about that. So if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories, more fun, more hope,